Hello and welcome. If you've ever had a marriage consultation, the most frequently asked question is whether our daughter's marriage will be distant or nearby. Besides that, you might have seen some girls who have everything, but still they're not getting married because they don't want to leave the place they're in. Born in these cases, due to professional reasons, whatever work they do, they have a good reputation. She doesn't want to leave that place. If they leave, they won't have clients. They are settled here. So she wants to get married there. But there can be some combinations in the chart that show that you will be away from your homeland after you get married. So maybe that's why the marriage isn't happening. The perfect guy isn't found in the same city. We can prepare our minds astrologically. The chart indicates that my marriage is written to be a bit distant, or the separative planets are forming a relationship with my seventh house. If I can utilize that separation in a good way, then there will be fewer difficulties in my marriage. Many boys also ask whether their future wife will be from far away or nearby. Now let's talk about how we can see these combinations in the chart. How far will you go? How can we analyze the distance after you get married? The first method is that no method is foolproof. 23 methods work in combination. And the most important thing is the dasha, which indicates the time period in which our marriage is happening. The simplest method is that you need to look at the placement of certain planets, their zodiac placements in D1 and D9 charts. First, you will look at the seventh lord to see which zodiac sign it is placed in the Rashi chart and the Navamsa chart. Then you will look at the seventh from Venus. For example, if Venus is in Taurus, then the sign that falls in the seventh from Venus is Scorpio. Now we will look at Mars to see which zodiac sign it is in D1 and D9. Then we will see which zodiac sign Venus itself is in. We have checked these three planets in both charts. Then what we will look at is calculating the longitude. You will take the longitude of the seventh lord and Venus and add them together. The degree that comes after the addition will call for a particular zodiac sign. We will see which zodiac sign it is and what its Navamsa is. So you need to look at these four things. You need to see how, if these points are our planets or this degree. In D1 and D9, then in fixed signs, your marriage won't be very far away. Okay, this could be one scenario where someone's birthplace is Delhi, but at the age of 34, they moved to Lucknow. So now, where will we calculate the distance from? We will calculate the distance from Lucknow, where you spent most of your childhood, for about 10 to 15 years. From there, you will see how far or how close your marriage is happening. First of all, fixed signs won't let us go too far. Fixed signs like Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, these combinations, these planets, or the particular degree we calculate, will fall into movable signs, which indicate change in movement. This means that your marriage will be distant. And in dual signs, the marriage won't be too far away or too close. What is the second method? The second method is that we need to look at the yin mutual placement of the Lagna Lord and the seventh Lord. I've never seen this method work, but if other factors contribute, check this too. We'll see Lagna and seventh Lord's positions. If in second, third, or 11th house, partner is nearby. If they are in the second, third, or 11th house, they are close in the chart, implying the wife or partner will come from nearby. If in the fifth, ninth, or 7th house, or in the sixth or eighth, the partner will likely come from afar. I rely on the housewise method to check chart quality. My seventh lord is in a movable sign in D1 and D9. Thus, I felt the marriage might be distant. The housewise hard method, which I rely on most, checks the chart's quality. It's crucial to examine it yourself. For instance, my seventh lord is in a movable sign in both D1 and D9, suggesting marriage might be distant. I need to see if there's any reflection from that sign. Is there a separative planet like the third or ninth lord affecting me? Is there influence from the 12th house or a movable nakshatra? Am I getting any flexion in that movable sign? Is any separative planner like third lord or nine slope affecting me in 12th house? Am I getting any nakshatra? which is a movable nakshatra. After marriage, you seem to be moving away. Which planetary period is your marriage in? Many girls marry nearby, but after a few years, they move so far that they meet their family only after 23 years. You must have seen that many girls get married in the next story or in the same dream, but after a few years, they go so far that they meet their parents and family after 23 years, and vice versa. Many marriages happen outside of India or outside their country, and after a few years, they unite and live very close to their family. Whatever the reason may be, parents may need their support, or they might be done with their professional life and want to focus on their personal life now. So, the planetary periods really matter. Now, we will apply all these principles to one chart. We look at the zodiac sign in the 7th house. In Scorpio rising, a fixed sign is in the 7th. This doesn't mean they won't go far. Check the 7th Lord sign. So should we say that co-purifying will not go away? Because fixed amount comes in 7th house? No. We need to see which zodiac sign the 7th Lord has gone into. If the 7th Lord is in a movable sign, and in D9 it has gone into Libra, then Libra is also a movable sign. So when I talk about the 7th Lord, I understand that I'm getting a movable impact. And the fact that my 7th Lord is in the 9th house gives me a second clue that I can mention about moving away. After that, we also mentioned checking the status of Venus. In this chart, Venus is functioning in both ways. Venus is in a movable sign in both D1 and D9. Then we will see which zodiac sign falls in the 7th house from Venus. That is the sign of Saturn. Saturn is in a fixed sign in both D1 and D9. It is in a movable sign. So since most of the contribution is coming from Venus, why is that? I'm emphasizing Venus so much because we talked about the one and degree calculation. We said that we need to calculate the degree of Venus and the degree of the 7th Lord. In this case, both are Venus. The degree of Venus is 31107, which means it has covered 3 signs. In the 4th sign, it is at 11 degrees and 7 minutes. If I keep this degree in mind, it will fall in Libra in D9. All right, now both of these are movable signs, and the promise of the chart also looks like this, with my 7th Lord going into the 9th house. Then their marriage took place during the period of Jupiter. Where is Jupiter the Lord of? And where is it placed? It is the 2nd Lord and is sitting in the 12th house in a movable sign. Then the significators of travel are Rahu and the moon. The moon is also in the 9th slot with them and is sitting in the 12th house, impacting the ascendant. So Jupiter's time period took them away after marriage. And let's talk about another chart. With Capricorn rising, the movable sign has come into the 7th house. What's more important is that Jupiter, my 7th Lord, is placed in a dual sign in D1 and is just entering the sign of Leo, which is a fixed sign in D9. So now I will look at Venus. Venus is in a fixed sign in D1, and Venus is also in a fixed sign in D9. Venus is also in a rhythm in D9. If I look at the 7th house from Venus, the zodiac sign there is also that of Venus. So again, Venus is showing us fixed energy, contributing in every way, and Jupiter is also burning in a fixed sign in D9. See, the placement in D9 becomes much more important. Now, we talked about adding the degrees of the 7th Lord and Venus. When we totaled it, we got 15, 19, 21. Subtracting 12 gives me a value of 3 signs complete. 19 degrees, 20 minutes, which means in Cancer, it will give us 19 degrees, 20 minutes in D9. On one side, I got a movable sign, and on the other side, I got a dual sign. I'm not getting confused here. We need to see what the majority is showing us. My 7th Lord is right in my 4th house. It hasn't gone too far, and it's with my 3rd Lord, so their marriage happened among neighbors, and it took place during the sun's time period. If I talk about it, I should definitely mention that my 12th lord is affecting my second house, which also shows a kind of separation from family, which is often the case for girls after marriage. Let me tell you, when their marriage happened, their mindset was that both the boy and girl would immediately go and work and settle there. But a priest told them that the 12th lord is slipping into your second house, so going immediately is not good for your family and savings. You won't find growth there, which is why they didn't go. However, since my 12th lord is creating friction in my second house, even though its debilitation is being cancelled by Saturn, there is always doubt about how much support Saturn will provide in cancelling that debilitation because of their friendship with the Sun. There were also problems like not getting along with brothers-in-law and sisters-in-law, which led to many issues at home, and they couldn't ignore those things. Besides that, my seventh lord's association with my eighth lord was also a factor. The support from in-laws was more with the partner rather than with me. For Virgo rising, Mars is not a good planet. If my seventh lord is associated with Mars, which is the significator planet of my seventh lord or a friend, it might contribute to their growth, but it won't give me much. Mars is sitting in the fourth house, impacting the seventh house and the seventh lord. In fact, it's also impacting the fourth house and the third house, creating a kind of warlike situation at home. Now, I've also heard that if someone has a movable sign in D1, important planets, and a fixed sign or dual sign in D9, they eventually come back. There are certain conditions that connect you with your family. So if our fourth house has a retrograde planet, or the fourth lord is retrograde, those people also come back or have to face back and forth before leaving their hometown. Apply this principle to many charts and see what results you get. Please share them with me, because astrology is all about search. Thank you so much.